Be happy. Be healthy. Be your best. Be
So
your
this
best.
episode is going to be a little different. I want to really impress upon you that there is a need for you to take your health into your own hands. In fact, I want you to actually start your own health rebellion because there's so much that we've been taught over a lifetime that has not been accurate, that has been profit driven, and that a lot of us now have health issues because of. So it's time to take your own health into your hands and have a health rebellion. Let me share with you some of the information that got me thinking about this today. Now, just as a disclaimer, my mom used to say I was pig-headed and stubborn. I actually prefer the word determined. So when I came across this information, I just thought, wow, I am determined to do a podcast session that helps people realize just how important it is to step up to the plate at this point and take control of their own health in a lot of practical ways. So let's dive into this. When the systems that are meant to really take care of our health and guide us down the right path and they fall short, that's when it becomes really important to make a personal declaration or call it a rebellion. So, one of the things that has been demonized for decades is salt. Actually, the government has, over the past decades, recommended that you get your salt lower and lower and lower. And it's really interesting if you do research around the world, the countries that have the least strokes, the least high blood pressure, and the least heart attacks do 6 grams or more of good sodium. Now, in our country, in our particular situation in the health field, in our office, we know that it's really important to have a proper sodium, magnesium, potassium ratio in the body. But we'll talk about that more later. So, at any rate, it's getting to the point that it's necessary for you to take your health into your own hands and have somewhat of a rebellion. Salt's been demonized forever. And yet, sugar, okay, which remember, sugar has a huge profit margin, and seed oils, which were lyingly represented as being heart beneficial from the start, and that actually were pushed to the front for decades, have actually started to show through science that seed oils can have devastating effects on people's health. And actually, what we're going back to more and more is that the fats that were said were unhealthy are the ones that are now being recommended that the body knows what to do with them and is able to treat them in a healthy manner. Do some research on that yourself, seed oils versus healthy fats, and you'll be amazed at the science that is coming forward on those subjects. So, taking a stand against fundamentally flawed health recommendations and shifting the narrative on salt is at the heart of a company called LMNT. They literally have a salty rebellion going. And I do not get sponsored by them. I just happen to love this company. We do sell their products in our office because of it. And we are going to have an open house that features a lemonade stand from them that my two granddaughters got from the company because of a letter that we gave to them about their wanting to become young entrepreneurs. But as far as having the company sponsor me in any way, they don't. So my recommendation of them is purely from the research I've seen that they do and the quality of their product and the benefits and the changes in people's lives that I have seen. So they actually are starting a rebellion. And reading their articles, it just struck a chord in me and I got excited reading it. So that's why I wanted to share it. So one of the statements they made was that while it might not be as daring as dumping tea into the Boston Harbor, they think standing up for your health is a meaningful act of rebellion in its own right. And I just really identified with that statement. So they have a lot of research on their site, LMNT, that shows that salt is misunderstood, that any energy production is understood. We're in what they call an overstimulated time. From the minute you get up until the minute you turn off your detrimental blue light exposure before bed, you're inundated with harmful health influences. But do you really understand the causes? A lot of it has been, we've been told, is to have less salt. They're saying have more salt, have less caffeine. Now, why did they say that? Because we have energy drinks, we have pre-work assistant products, pre-work assistant drinks, triple shot everything. We've been caught up in what they call a stimulant arms race, literally, and it's having some really serious effects on people's health. So here's the thing that a lot of people get wrong about caffeine. If you were to talk to a lot of people, they would say, "Oh, caffeine gives me energy." And it actually doesn't. What caffeine does is it blocks the receptor sites that make you feel tired. But then you get into a chicken and egg situation. If you look back at some of our other podcasts that we did, you'll see ones that are specifically about caffeine and how it works in the body with other hormones and how you can actually have a more accurate scientific view of it. But for right now, let's just restate the fact that caffeine does not give you energy. It just blocks the sites that make you tired. So what does your body make energy with? Well, it makes energy with food and electrolytes through what's called ATP synthesis, okay? It's in the mitochondria, or your powerhouses. Understanding that difference, that your body needs to make the energy from food and electrolytes, and that the caffeine is just blocking sites that make you feel tired, is a real wake-up call for a lot of people with their management of caffeine. So what did LMNT do? Well, they did something that's pretty special. They wanted to help you to get the benefit of caffeine without having the downsides of it. So researchers there have had 2 decades of coaching from special forces to do-it-all parents, and they've seen that only 50 milligrams of caffeine per serving is needed, and that is plenty of caffeine, even for the most energetic person that they've been working with. So they've launched a new flavor, and I was really fascinated into looking into it because it's the first one that they've done that had any caffeine. It's called lemonade iced tea, and it takes all of their science-backed electrolyte information and formulates it into this one flavor that they now have. So they have naturally occurring caffeine, 50 milligrams, but then they put L-theanine with it and polyphenols from organic black tea, and it ends up being a really powerful antioxidant blend. And it's a formula that's designed to give you a healthy lifestyle with a healthy relationship with caffeine that doesn't hammer your adrenals or wreck your sleep. It's really a pretty outstanding product. And they have in it the perfect ratio of magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Now, what does that do? That supports your adrenals. That supports all 9 body systems. That supports your heart health. It still gives you that little teeny bit of caffeine, but everything else that's in it are components that actually the body can use to manufacture energy. So it's just this great relationship between ingredients that I was just really happy to see and wanted to let you know about. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube now, you know what? Post a comment down below about where you're listening from and what interested you from this podcast. And then consider going to other podcasts that we have done, like I said, on electrolytes and caffeine, and personally launch your own health rebellion. It's a really positive step to even do the things that we've talked about in this podcast, but we're here on this podcast channel to help you with practical information and lifestyle changes that will make it so that you can fast track your own results. So the link for LMNT is down below. And so please remember to like and subscribe and share this information with your friends and family, people that need these valuable steps, because a lot of how we improve our health is in doing lifestyle changes. And so I know that if you apply some of the things that we mentioned here, you'll be getting some great results.